you are to start on BIBO or the bulk in, bulk out, that is where we were supposed to start. So BIBO is just an acronym, and it means in full bulk in, bulk out. Now, what this means is that this is a type of vessel that can load by its own equipment and also discharge out without depending on port facilities. Okay, yeah, so they can load the bulk cargo, they have the equipment for loading the bulk cargo and also discharging the same. So we say this kind of bulkers streamline the loaded bulk cargo in the vessel by sucking the same into smaller quantities. So that cargo which is in larger quantity, they take it bit by bit, that is smaller quantity, and the process normally occurs simultaneously while the cargo is loaded onto the ship, and these vessels, they command a unique respect among other existing vessels kind. So they are highly recognized, and this is a very special type of bulker where the cargo is loaded as a bulk but are equipped with equipment to bag those bulk cargo and discharge them in bulk. So emaili, like let's say cement wakati ambapo imetengenezwa, okay, baada haijawekwa kwa bag, okay, so you can load it like that the way it is, then ikiingia ndani yake pale, they have got, it can stack them in the various bags. So wakati wa discharge, they are not discharged as bulk loose, but they are discharged as bulk bagged, okay, when they are now packed in their respective bags. So it's a very, very special type of a vessel. So the port stay of these vessels are very short in their destination, as the time taken to discharge the bagged cargo is very nice, okay. They normally use the conveyor system, okay. So they don't take much time, just the same with the Ro-Ro vessels. You know the Ro-Ros, eh? The Ro-Ros also, since they don't depend on the port equipment, so long as it has berth at the ramps, we only need the drivers, and within a shorter time, all the vehicles will be discharged. That's the same with the so-called the BIBO. So the BIBO, they can load the bulk, then they bag the bulk. Then during the discharge, they don't discharge the bulk the way it was loaded, but they're now discharging the bulk in bags, okay? So categories of the bulk carriers and the size per region. Bulk carriers can be called depending, they can be named depending on the region where they are coming from. Like we have got what called the Kasamax bulker. The Kasamax bulker, as the name suggests, they are designed to berth specifically at the port of Kamsa, that is the Republic of New Guinea. Okay, so they are specifically designed for that. Remember the Panamax? You remember the Panamax vessels?
Yeah.
Panamax vessels, eh? Remember them, eh? Yeah, they are those ones which are designed to go through the Panama Canal. Okay. Yeah. So these are also they are named according to the region where they are being where they trade. So they have a maximum allowable length of 290 meters and are larger than the Panamax. Okay. So the Kasamax bulker are larger than the Panamax. So which means that they cannot go through the Panama. The isthmus or Panama Canal, okay? Panama, we say it is not a, it is an isthmus, not a, the other term is called?
Isthmus.
Eh? Yeah, the isthmus and?
Straight.
Yes, and the strait, yeah. Yeah, so they can't go through the isthmus of Panama, okay? Because they are large enough, but they can go through the straits, eh? Yeah. Then we have got Newcastle Max bulker. So this size of bulker refers to the largest vessel which can enter the port of Newcastle. The Newcastle is in Australia, okay? Yeah, that is in down south there, okay? Then the size of vessel has a maximum beam of 50 meters and a length of 300 meters. So it's a little bit bigger. I think we know the beam. That is the breadth. Okay, its breadth is 50 meters, and the length overall is 300 meters. Okay, so it's also big enough. Then we have got the Setomax, the Setoshmax, Balka. Now, this size of a vessel was designed for vessels to navigate in the Setoshi Sea, that is in Japan, and they are restricted to 203 deadweight tonnage. A very huge one. This is a very huge one. So then we have Seaway Max Balka. They refer to those vessels which can pass through the locks of the St. Lawrence Seaway. Remember where the St. Lawrence is? Remember the St. Lawrence, huh? Why don't you know this one? Well, St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence is in Great Lakes in Canada, okay? North America, the northern part of America, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, St. Lawrence Seaway is a very, very big lake there. So that's where we get the Seaway Max Balka. And remember, St. Lawrence is majorly for the trade in grain, okay? Yeah, we have got grain fields around that particular region. That's all. So their length was restricted to 226 meters and drought of 7.29 meters. Not very much deep, okay? Yeah, this is, remember, this is a lake. This is not an ocean, okay? Then we have got Malacca Max, Balka. This size of vessel is referred to the vessels which could pass through the Strait of Malacca, okay? Malacca, where do you get it? The Strait of Malacca?
Between North America and na hii Greenland iko hapa katikati, iko hapa kwa mapa hapa katikati.
Yes, good. Yeah. So between the Northern America and the Greenland, okay? Yeah, the Greenland iko hapo katikati, then this other side will get Russia, okay? Yeah. That's good. Then maximum allowable length overall is 330 meters. A drought is 20 meters. This cannot dock at the port of Mombasa, okay? Due to its drought, okay? This drought surpasses the one we have here at our port, so it cannot dock here. And deadweight tonnage over 300,000 meters. So this one, we can't have it here. Then we have got Dunkamax, Balka. They were designed to trade in the eastern harbor lock of the port of Dakar, that is in France. And the maximum allowable beam is 45, length overall is 289, and 17.5, 175,000 deadweight tonnage. So that is, so these are, you see how these bulkers are being named. They are being named according to, as per the region, okay? Yeah, so we have the Casamax, we have Newcastle Max, we have the Setosh Max, Balka, we have the Seaway Max, Malacca Max, Dakar Max. So all of them, they're being named depending on the region where they're being found. Now, straight away, I want us to see the loading and unloading of dry bulk vessels. A specific aspect of loading operations. How do we load these particular cargoes, and what should we put into place? What are some of the precautions that needs to be taken into place whenever you're doing the loading operations? So we have what called the vessel loading plan. Whenever loading operation wants to take place, you must know the loading plan of that particular vessel. Each vessel has got its own loading plan. A container vessel has got its own loading plan. A bulker loading plan. The gas tankers, every type of vessel, they have their own special loading plan. So a vessel loading plan should be available for all, but the simplest of the loading operations, that is, the plans are prepared in consultation with the master of or the chief officer of the ship, and a terminal representative. So in most cases, the loading plan, they should be available for all. And the simplest of this loading plan operations, they are prepared in consultation with the master or the chief officer of the ship. Okay. Remember that a shipmaster is a very, very important person in the ship. He's the overall commander and the one who operates. So, sorry. Uh, loading risks. Loading risk should be assessed by competent persons, and possible loading risk factors include. Now, you see, we've said here that plans are normally prepared in consultation with the master or the chief officer of the ship and a terminal representative. So you must involve these parties. And the risk should be assessed by competent persons. These are people who are well trained on risk assessment, and they tell you this can be done, this cannot be done, this is how it should be done, this is what should be avoided. So what are some of these possible risk factors when loading and discharging? One, the risk to the health and safety of personnel involving the cargo handling operations, including the risk associated with the cargo handling. Remember, when you're handling cargo, anything can happen, okay? The equipment you're using can break, a cargo can fall on you. There are those things which have happened even in these warehouses. They normally don't strike. I think if you've ever got opportunity to visit a warehouse, they call the strike the way those sacks are normally being arranged, stairs. There's a time when that stack broke na ikafunika wale wanaitwaje masogi, yeah, they kill. So there is that, the safety and health personnel who are involved in these operations should be something of priority. Then safe means of access and egress to and from the ship holds at the stages of loading, i.e. there may be only be hold ladders fitted at one end of the hold, and the load plan should therefore be designed to ensure that access to it not become restricted during the cargo loading operation. So safe means of access and egress to and from the ship holds. So how you enter and you get out, it must be made in a very better way. I think it was last week, there was one of the crew who fell from the ship deck into an ocean in is it Atlantic somewhere. When you read this maritime bulletin, they normally give the briefs of what's happening across the world. Okay, so one of the crew members at the aliruka from the deck and fell straight into the ocean. So such kind of risk are things which should be avoided. So safe means of access and egress to and from the tops of cargo stores, such as during trimming operations. The safety of personnel entering the ship compartments with particular regard to the buildup of toxic gases, oxygen depletion. So there are some sections when you get into, we don't have enough oxygen, okay? There's depletion of oxygen. So maybe you need to put on some kind of, maybe if you are required to have those oxygen tanks, you should have them. Dust, you need to have the mask with you, and health effect from cargoes. Then the safety of third-party personnel. Third parties here are can include the dock workers. It can include any other person who is not directly involved in this. Okay, and that's why you find that at the port they require you that when you are there, you need to put on reflectors. Yeah, so that you can easily be spotted. Then safe means of access and egress of cargo surveyors or inspectors, how they can easily access, also get out. The rate and order in which the ships hold are to be loaded or unloaded. So the ship will require all cargo operations to be undertaken in a manner which complies with the vessel loading stroke unloading procedures as required by the International Safety Maritime Code. So these are some of the few possible risk factors which need to be taken into consideration. Now, specific aspects of discharging. We say that ships, they often arrive in ports for discharge without providing the cargo handler prior notification of how the ship is towed. So discharging risk should be assessed by competent person. So a ship can come to the port, but it has not provided the cargo handler how it has been stored, how these cargoes have been stored. Okay, so it means that this discharge discharging risk, they should be assessed by competent person so that when the discharge actually starts, there is no health hazard to the handlers. So some of the possible risk here is working at heights due to cargo being on tank tops, access platforms of the high areas within the hold. When you climb up, sometimes maybe whatever you are stepping on was not properly secured. There you fall in the sea, you go like that. The safety of personnel entering the ship's compartments with particular regard to building up of the toxic gases, oxygen depletion, dust, ill health effect, on just the same way we said. Now, you see here, even the containers themselves, container, when during the clearance of cargoes at various destinations, CFAs or ICDs, when the container is opened, the rule is this: immediately it is stripped. Don't rush into entering inside to start the verification process. No, you are required to at least wait, okay, for some time. Just open it, wait for some time for that hot air to escape, okay? Because remember, this thing has passed through different climatic conditions. There's that compression of air, hot air, and all that, and some stuffs. So you need to open it, give it some like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then you can start your verification process. But if you're in a hurry, that no, I want to clear this container, I have 10 containers to see today, my friend, you may end up being taken to hospital before you see the second one, okay? Because some of the compression of the gases inside there, they can suffocate you sometimes, okay? So this is something which you need to take precautions whenever the moment the seal has been broken and the container is open. Just relax somewhere, chat, kama uko na bundles, okay, or back stories. Then later on you can go inside to start verification process, okay? Then manual handling during cleaning out operations is also another area which need to be observed. Once now the entire discharge operation has been done, now there is that manual handling during the cleaning. When now you are doing the cleaning, maybe there are some stacks inside there can fall on you. That's why sometimes you also require that you put the helmet, you have the protective gears with you whenever you're handling cargoes. Shifted cargoes during sea passage. We have sometimes, in the high seas, we have difference in tidal differences. So sometimes if the cargo is not secured properly, then those high tides can make the cargo to shift. And maybe you may think that it is properly secured or properly stuck, only to move the first one, then the rest falls on you, okay? So a lot of care needs to be observed here. Then the potential for cargo shifting during discharge, that is also there, a fact. You remove one stack like this, then maybe the other one was lying on the support of the one which you removed, so they can shift. And if you are not keen enough, you can be buried there. Remember, like a 40-feet container dropping on you, will you still be found? Maybe you'll be found when you're flat. Yeah, 40 feet loaded container is landed on you, then I think your issue is just over. Okay. So we have the potential for the cargo shifting during discharge, the condition of cargo and deterioration on passage, e.g. water ingress, cargo liquefying or solidifying. So these things normally happen. The condition of cargo and deterioration on passage. Okay. There are cargoes which, as they continue to move, they may deteriorate, which means that their value may go down, some maybe get affected, and some may also liquefy or some may solidify depending on the temperature difference. Okay, so these are things which must be keenly be observed, and the handlers must be trained on all these risk factors, that this kind of cargo you're going to handle, these are the possible things which can happen to it, and this, if this happens, this is what you ought to do. You get that? Yeah, so that is very, very important. So good communication between the ship, terminal, and the shipping agent is important to ensure that no issues are overlooked. Okay, so everything communication. You see, sometimes even you find these people called the Kenya Power. Okay, there's normally coordination, proper communication. When you want to climb up the pole, the simple rule is normally that the person climbing up the pole should be the one who is going to make the cutout. Okay, because if you trust with another person, maybe he has already, you quarreled some days back and he said today you are going to see. Okay, so they need that proper communication, that you who is going up the pole, you are the one to make the cutout, and the moment you are down the pole, that is when you go to and reconnect it, so that you don't dry up there. Okay, so this is why I'm saying that a good communication between the ship, terminal, and shipping agent is a key to ensure that no issue is overlooked. Okay, because some of those assumptions in cargo handling, there's nothing like assumption that, oh, I thought this was going to happen. Okay, so there is nothing like an assumption here. Everything must run as per the way it should. So the requirement of the safe loading and unloading of bulk carriers regulations for terminals handling ships that come under the definition of bulk carriers, such as the terminal operation manual, nominated terminal representative, grid loading and loading plan, holding an accredited quality management system, go a long way to ensuring operations are conducted in a suitable manner. So, safe loading and unloading of bulk carriers regulations 2003 define a bulk carrier as any ship over 500 gross weight tonnage or more. Okay, so if you want to refer to a bulk carrier, we say a bulk carrier is, according to the definition, which we have the safe loading and unloading of bulk carriers, that any ship which is 500 gross tons or more is a bulker, and constructed with a single deck. They must have single deck, topside tanks, and a hooper side tank. Is a cargo space. In a cargo space, and intended primarily to carry dry bulk cargo in bulk. An O carrier, where O carrier means a seagoing single deck ship having two longitudinal bulkheads and a double bottom throughout the cargo region and intended for the carriage of all cargoes in the entire hold only. Now, why do you think these all carriers have got a double bottom? What's the reason behind that? What's the simple reason why they have?
In case of an accident, maybe collision. Only the maybe the outer the cargo doesn't fit the cargo.
Yes. Yeah. In the event there is a collision or there is some knock, then we don't have the case of Titanic. Okay. Yeah. The case of Titanic was used as a case study by the shipbuilders, and they knew that whatever made it to sink should not result into further accidents, and that's why majority of ships are now being made by double hulk, okay, or the double bottom, so that when a knock is in the first hull, then it can't penetrate into the second one. Okay. And remember somewhere we talked about the dry docking of vessels. Yeah, we talked about the dry docking of vessels, and we say one of the reasons why they're normally being dry docked is for the repair activities and maintenance. And the areas which they check most is the bottom part of it. Okay, the keel, they check its condition and just to ensure that everything is in the correct order. Okay, I think we'll be switching in the next 1 minute. So notwithstanding the definition above, dry bulk cargoes may be carried in ships that do not meet the definitions. And consequently, a terminal operator must assess each operation on its own merit and determine what controls are required to ensure operations are managed in a safe manner. So, however, the terminal remains responsible for the safety of its staff and must ensure that adequate risk assessment and safe system to work are in place and ensure the operations can be undertaken safely. So this is a matter of concern, that safety is key.